Hello, hello. I remembered to unmute my camera today. I mean, my mic today. I'm winning. I'm winning.
I almost went muted, so we're just gonna take turns here.
Yeah. Hello, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Sherry's here. Heather's here. Kate, Al, Nalkita. Hi, friends.
Hello. Nice to see everyone today.
Yes, thank you guys for being here. Sherry's on
Where
a
are you
5-hour road
going,
trip.
if you don't mind sharing? If not, totally cool.
Shelby. Hello, hello, hello.
I'm
Our
taking a little road trip to Houston in a few weeks, so I'm
Yeah,
excited.
we need to talk about that too, by the way. I keep
Yes.
forgetting that we need to talk about that.
Yes. Yes, we got a plan.
Yes. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Wendy introduce herself and uh oh, that's right. The Canadian
Nice.
Thanksgiving. I forgot about that. Can we talk about the fact that our Thanksgiving is literally like a month away, a month and like a handful of days? That is my brain cannot wrap itself around that. Like it's I'm just I can't.
It's my first holiday without like any plans, without a husband, without like
Yeah.
anything. So part of me is excited and part of me is like, what do I do with myself?
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Nice. I'll actually be meeting Jen in person in a few weeks.
Yes.
So
I do exist. Emmett does exist. Like all of us exist. So yeah. Okay, go ahead, introduce yourself, and then I will introduce myself.
okay, so hey everyone. My name is Wendy. I'm with MLM No. You see me in a bunch of chats, and looks like we got our regulars in today. So, not a huge introduction needed, but for those of you who are watching the replay crew, I've been in sales for about 14 years. I started in retail, worked my way up to inside sales, which is where I'm at right now. So, on my channel, I like to talk about the differences between um, traditional sales tactics and multi-level marketing techniques. Like I said earlier, I am newly single, so I'm kind of figuring out that part of my life right now. I have a cute doggy that is taking up my footrest, so I'm like curled up on my chair while he's stretched out. So you'll see a little floof ball in a few. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Nilkita said parents are out of the country this Thanksgiving. My brother and I decided not to bother. I think that's probably what we're gonna do. We just don't do big Thanksgiving. We will go and hang out with my daughter's dad and his wife. We do that like the day after Thanksgiving. So we do the co-parenting thing the best that we can. um so hi, I'm Jen. If you're watching the replay crew, I am Mrs. Pico Speaks. I create content, anti-MLM content. I was in Scentsy for 8 years. I decided to leave after I hit the top 2%. And so now I get to talk with my friends about MLM tactics. We don't really talk about people. We don't talk about people. We talk about their tactics. So just a note to remember that. I am a wife and a mom. I'm neurodivergent as well. So if that's not your jam, that's cool. If we're not your people, that's also cool. We understand. Um, yeah. I have a dog sleeping on my floor back here. So if my when my husband comes home, he's working a little bit this morning, he'll probably come and get the dog because he's her person. So
That's
I'm
understandable.
I'm the spare. Like I'm the spare. I'm the one that when he's at work, she's like, "Oh, we can cuddle." And but I spoil her too, so it's fine. It's fine. We are going to talk about BP. So what this is just kind of a summary of what's gone on in the previous week. It's nice for us to go back and just kind of review because so much stuff happens with BP. It's changes from week to week. We do this weekly and we just want to just review all the things that have happened because let me tell you, BP is wild. If you did not get a chance to see our stream on Friday, I will link that in my description so you can see that we did a 2-hour live talking about Winifred slash Jenna and the situation that's going on with BP. And that's very interesting. It's still going on. There's still stuff that's happening today, but we're going to kind of stay away from that topic just because we covered it so much on Friday and we just don't want to keep. It's definitely a jungle. Yes, it is. Uh,
Mhm.
Heather said having dinner, then Black Friday, going to Great Wolf Lodge. Ooh, Great Wolf Lodge sounds fun. I haven't been.
Mhm.
My daughter's been though, and she had a lot of fun. So yeah, if you didn't see that stream, feel free to check it out. But we just again are kind of going to talk about stuff that happened and stuff that's coming up because tomorrow is the launch of the Villains collection, the second half of the Rain collection. Well, good morning. Hello. And greetings and
Hello.
salutations. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the Villains collection. I have some notes here. We're gonna talk about Stonegate, which we talked about last week, the missing stone in the marketing picture, which Wendy and I are not going to let go.
No.
We are going to dig our heels in and not let anybody forget about what happened with that marketing picture. And I also have what Lillian's response to that picture is. I know I did share it with DC and she shared it on her live, but I do want to talk about Lillian's response to things and just kind of Stonegate will never die. Stonegate will
No.
never die.
No. Like, it's so obvious that, like, at first I can understand if you're like, all right, maybe it's a clear stone, but when you're literally comparing it to the one right next to it, there's just no excuse. But yeah, Lillian has just been making some questionable decisions as of lately, and we're here to kind of figure that out.
Yes. Let me find that picture and drop it.
Cassandra, yeah, we're chatting about terrible marketing. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because if you're going to spend that much money on a campaign, on marketing, on the team that does that, then you might as well get it right, you know? And DC had a good point too. She's like, the stone in the other one is almost at the same angle. They literally could have just like photoshopped it.
Yes. Yes.
So you could have photoshopped it. You could have gotten another pair of earrings. Like, there's so much stuff you could do.
Let me share my screen so y'all can see Lillian's response. Did I
Should
Okay.
we show the picture first just for
Yes. Yes. Let's
reference?
see if that I just airdropped it to myself. Is this it? Okay, yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, click Stigmima. Yep. There was one time, and I was telling Jen this, I was working in the Best Buy stores, and Microsoft had this picture, and it looked like the computer screen was coming off of the computer. Like, it was completely, like, perfect and, like, 3D almost. It was really funny. And so we reported it. Like, I didn't work for Microsoft, but, I had some Microsoft connections. And within, like, a few days, they pulled that and replaced it. So, and I know Microsoft is a much bigger company than BP, but
Mhm.
I still feel like they could have at least pulled the image.
Okay, so this is the image itself. I did circle it because people had questions about where the missing stone was, and I just wanted it to be very obvious that what we're looking at. So I did zoom in for clarity of people's understanding because people were having questions. But this is the image that was shared. This was a marketing image that was originally shared with the reps. Lillian and BP does I think it's like Friday. They do like they do a release for the reps on the active rep page on Facebook. So reps can see what's coming out and have all the official marketing images and all of that. So I was provided this image, and as we were looking at it last week, Wendy said Wendy noticed it, and I didn't notice it. And so then, yes, it's a sneak peek.
Mhm.
And when Wendy noticed it, then we started having conversations about it. Then I started sharing it to people that I know. I shared it on Reddit. Shout out to all the good people of Reddit, not the trolls. We love the good people of Reddit who help us out. Uh, but it looks
Mhm.
Cassandra said it looks totally empty, no dimension to be a clear stone. Right. And you can even see if you look in the back, it's really hard to see, but you can kind of see the mesh of the wire or whatever it is.
I
Someone
was
made
gonna
a
say that, yeah.
s-
Like, it goes right through it.
yes. And someone made a really good point that they didn't think these earrings were actually on the wire mesh. They think that it was like they photoshopped them onto the mesh. I don't know. I don't know if because they said, well, that mesh background wouldn't support the earrings, so it could have been photoshopped on. Somebody also said that they might have photoshopped it to get um, the background of the mesh like, to take it out. But my
Mhm.
question is, if they did that, why is there so much reflection on that like, that place where the stone sat? Because you can see there's, like, reflection of a light in the corner.
Right.
So
And, like, I will say the bottom mesh looks a little wonky, so, like, I feel like that part and that's at least plausible because like, it
mhm,
doesn't look the same as the top mesh. Like, if you look where the earring is sitting in,
yeah,
like, that I feel like looks legit. You can
mhm.
see the dimension to it, unless that's a shadow.
Cassandra said, "I think the mesh is like a wire type, like chicken wire, but smaller, and
Yeah.
the color is to distract from the ugly jewelry." That's that's fair. I can see that too, because I know some of that, like, it's not ribbon, but it comes in that kind of, like, on a spool, and it looks like that. So it
Mhm.
but still, this is I'm gonna go back to this is an image that somebody somebody took the photo, somebody styled it first. So they
Mhm.
styled it, they put it up on this wire mesh ribbon, and then they took photos of it. And then they had to edit photos. You cannot tell me a marketing image is not edited in some way, shape, or form. That
Mhm.
somebody had to edit the images, then somebody had to send it to, you know, BP corporate, and then they had to send it out or publish it on Facebook. So, did nobody look?
Yeah, and that took me what, like 2 minutes to spot,
Yes.
you know?
You have eagle eyes. Can we just say that for a minute? Like, you see stuff that I'm like, "Where is that? What is that?"
Mhm. It's
You're
like
like
right
an
there.
yes, yes. So, this is Stonegate. I'm gonna show y'all what Lillian's response to Stonegate is. Yes, Emery. It's like the white versus blue
Yes.
dress. Yes, it's it's funny because some people are like, "Yes, it's missing," and some people are like, "It could be a clear stone, it could be" but here go ahead, Wendy.
Even if it's a clear stone, it doesn't match and it doesn't look good, you know? But when you're looking at it up close, like, you can see the metal holder to it. Like, the corner of it, that's the light reflecting off of the metal
Mhm,
holder. If
mhm.
there was a gem in there, there would have been some more light refraction from it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, and that was my thing too, was, like, it doesn't you can see the setting, and you can see details of the setting, like, the lip like, the edge and the light refracting like, reflecting off of it and you can even see, like, stones in the side. If it was
Mhm.
clear if it was a clear stone, it would not be completely like, you would not be able to see through it to see the mesh in the back,
Right, because
and
when you're looking at the clear sorry to cut you
no,
off, I
you're fine.
apologize.
No.
When you see the clear stones on the side, like, they have more of a white appearance, in that light.
Yes.
So, there's no light coming through that. There's no fucking
Mhm.
stone.
Yeah, and, to compare it, you can compare it side by side. It's like it's not the same.
Mhm.
But let me
Do we
show
have
you
the side by side?
Yeah, let me share it. Hold on.
Okay. I'm gonna run and grab something to drink. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me share the big image with y'all so you can see. Oh, don't forget to hydrate. Don't forget to, if you want to get a snack, get a snack. Let me find the right one. What is the 18? Okay, here's the right picture. Let's share the screen. Okay, here's the image. So this is the actual, like, more of the full-size marketing image. I did combine it down, like, compress it down just a little bit and make it smaller. Oh. You said, so who makes biscuits? Who was making biscuits the other day? I remember you saying that. Hello. So this is the full marketing image. You can see the stone next to it and on the left side, and then you can see the earring on the right side. Comparing the two side by side, I don't think it was just a stone that was photoshopped out. I think it was an actual missing stone. This this ring that you can see here on the bottom, we've seen this square shaped stone in other pieces of jewelry. It was in the is Allie. That's it. Allie was making biscuits. So this rectangular shaped stone we've seen before. We saw it in the opal collection. It was more sideways. They call it a suitcase. And those stones have a tendency to fall out of the settings. If it's horizontal, vertical, it doesn't matter. They're not set in the rings or the necklaces. I've seen necklaces too in a similar design, and they're not set in there in a way that has any kind of longevity. It's, they package them, they put them into things, and I've seen them fall out as soon as the jewelry gets opened. That's a good question. Kate said, "Why wouldn't they have photoshopped the stone from the right one?" I don't know,
Yeah.
and that was a question that other people had too, that, I posted it on Reddit, and there was a lot of discussion about it, about, they could have photoshopped it. They could have done a lot of different things, and they just chose not to. Kate said, "It's them being
Mhm.
different that makes it so clear." Mhm.
Yeah.
And that, people were saying, "Oh, is it a missing stone? Is it not?" But then to take it a step further, Lillian made a response to this, I think it was last Sunday, and let me share what her response was. And
Buckle in
I
because I'm gonna get heated for this one.
I I have feelings. I have feelings about this. So let
Mhm.
me find her response because it's okay. Okay. Let's see. Can we zoom in a little bit? I don't know who sent this to her, but I'm gonna let Wendy read the first comment, and then I'll read the second comment that Lillian made.
Yeah, so she says, "It's not. These stones reflect funny due to the color and tone of each stone." Which, like, in this one, you can kind of see some light reflecting, but we can't guarantee that those are the same earrings.
Correct, and she doesn't show both earrings in this picture. She
Mm-mm.
just shows the one. So how do you know that that's the one that has the stone missing? Or, you could say anything. I could I could post a picture of a crunched Coke can, and then I could say, "Well, this is the same can." How do you know? How do you know that it's you don't? And that's the point that we, as, like, Wendy and I have talked about a lot, is why are you lying? And then so the next comment that Lillian says, "It looks clear at different angles and you can see through the stone." The
Mhm.
stone is not clear. The stone color that all the reps are talking about is amber.
Yeah, it's like a dark gold. That's
Yes.
why they picked a lot of rose golds to go with it. So
Uh,
Cassandra said, so someone reported it to her from the live the other day. I believe she saw it from like somebody reported it like from Reddit.
mhm,
Um, that would be my guess because there's a lot more like BP reps in Reddit.
there's a a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Um,
And yeah, just own the mistake. Exactly. Like
yes.
every company has done something like this. Like it happens. It's
Mhm.
okay. But just fucking own it. Take care of it. Like take the picture down, redo it, and be like, all right, guys, like use this image instead. Like it's not a big deal. But now it is a big deal because like I'm heated.
We yeah. So Kate said, "I wonder how many tries it took her to get a shot that looked at all like the stone looked clear." They they cannot own it. No.
Right. And like she said, like, go ahead and read the second comment and then I'll say my
Uh,
piece.
Shelby said, "My cat is making biscuits on the couch next to me."
Oh.
I w I want dogs don't make biscuits, and it's just not the same. It's just not the same. Okay. Lady Whistledown said, "Why try and lie and gaslight people?" Go ahead, Wendy. I know
Mhm.
you had commentary.
So what I don't understand is like, so she said it looks clear at different angles and you can see through the stone. But they weren't different angles in the picture. They were the same angle in the same lighting, and one stone is clearly not there.
Yeah.
So your little picture here, Lillian, like does not make any sense. You're just saying like, oh, here's the same earrings, but it could be the same like setting and everything, but there's just no way that that stone is there in that other picture, you
No.
know?
And you can't
Like, it
con
looks different than even this one here. I'm pointing at my computer like y'all can see what I'm pointing at.
you
Wow.
can't you can't convince me that it's the same.
No.
Shelby and that's the other thing too. Shelby said,
Yes.
"Missing stone, too fizzy, bad smell. Is this the downfall of BP?" So
Can
the
we talk about that for a second?
yes, yes.
So, the November launch with the rings specifically, obviously, like, the boxes aren't affected, but the rings have been reported to have a really terrible smell to them. And, like, some people saying, like, it smells like salmon, it smells like fish, it smells like just something rotting, like, just nasty smell. And then the other issue is they changed the formula on the fizz itself. People are saying that it's the color dye to it, but I'm not sure about that. Like, I'm not a chemist, so I don't know, but it's creating like this huge overflow. So imagine taking like a Mr. Bubble bath and dumping in it the whole bottle in your bathtub and then putting on on the water. Yeah, it is wild. And normally he puts soap into his
Yeah.
water and he's not even putting soap. This is without
Mm-mm.
soap, y'all.
This is like, uh, yeah, this is I think you sent me this picture,
Mhm.
and I've heard different people say I heard somebody say it smells like hot dog water. I've heard all
Yeah.
these different things, and it's not just like this is probably from, I don't know, a few cubes. It's not even a full sleeve. And the first time I don't remember who was it I saw dropping the first cubes, but then it was like reps are trying to figure out how to combat the foam because they
Jane.
can't.
Jane was like,
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Jane had it like a whole meltdown, and I felt terrible for her because, like, she's being put on the spot on camera, on
Mhm.
live, and
Yeah.
oh man.
Her poor husband, she sent him to the store to get like, people were in the chat were saying all kinds of things. Fabric softener, somebody said vinegar, which does not make it better, it would only make it
I
worse.
would have loved to see the vinegar though. Like, are you kidding me?
V so vinegar, what else did they say? Hand sanitizer, rubbing alcohol,
I heard lemon juice,
lemon juice, spoons, like because if you
wooden spoons, yeah.
wooden spoons, yes.
By
But
the end of it, like, one person had, like, 2 spoons and fabric softener going, like,
Yeah,
it was a whole science project.
and people were like and then people I saw the next day were taking bottles of hand sanitizer, like spray, like little tiny spray bottles, and spraying the top of the foam to kind of get it to dissipate, and that was working for some people, but, like, they were having to scoop the foam off just to be able to see in their, like, whatever
Mhm.
container they're using to fizz, and I think that I wanna say I thought that, like, hot water made it worse, probably because it speeds up the chemical reaction of the cubes and the powder, but
So so I did a little Googling when, this was going on, and, the 2 things that create, like, baking soda to fizz like this is water and heat. Right?
yeah, and, uh, some people I was it Veronica? I think I saw V last night where she would put the cubes in and then put the
And
lid
s
immediately on.
Yep, and then she would open it and, like, spray real quick.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
and
saw that, yeah.
BP did put out a statement saying it was the dye and, they weren't gonna be doing it again, and again, this is from BP, so who knows what of it's true. But I just wanna say, as reps would continue to fizz, the water looked chunky on the top. I don't know if the
Yeah.
dye would, like, collect, but it looked like if you've ever seen, like, pumpkin or butternut squash soup, that's what I like, in my brain, it looks like. It looks like a very orangey color, chunky on the top, and it smells funny. I would not wanna put my hands anywhere near that.
You can kinda see the dye collecting on Wolfie's right there, yeah. Like,
Right here.
that's the color it's coming off of, like uh-huh.
It's yes.
It's
Br
almost
orange
like you drank apple juice for, like, a year straight, and that's the color you're paying out now.
yes. And you're only peeing once a day in the
Yeah.
morning. Like,
Yep,
that's the color of it.
if you
It's
can.
yeah, yes. Kate said, "It's an oil, I bet, that's turned into the soap." That
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprising either uh, that it would be an oil that they like, something that's oil-based that they switch to. Shelby said, "I have a hard time believing it's due to the color. Maybe they're trying to reduce the cost. That fizz looks like Rise Fizz." It does look like Rise Fizz. That's an
That's
interesting point too.
that is a good point.
'Cause the bubbles are really small and compact. I know with BP, some of the times that they've dropped the ring bombs, that the bubbles are big. It's not those, like, teeny tiny, super compact bubbles like that.
Yeah, and it almost looks like the dye is more like mica powder because, like, it has that, like, iridescence to it.
Yeah.
This has no iridescence to it, and it looks like you just went to the car detailer and was like, "Alright, load me up on the soap, guys."
Yes.
Like, it's that kind of soap that they put on your windshield.
Yes. The really bubbly, like
Mhm. At least that smells good, though.
yes. It doesn't smell like hot dog water, and I'm never gonna get over the fact that somebody said weenie water, so now it's forever gonna be weenie water. Like, November birthdays had weenie water or, like, ugh.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
So nasty.
Cassandra said they probably got a a bomb ass sale from a new supplier and just don't care. Probably. They probably
Mhm.
did. Kate said, "To make bath bombs, you need a dry acid and dry base and a binder that doesn't react."
Yeah, I know I've seen a lot of them made with, like, baking soda, um,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I don't know how BP makes theirs.
Mm-mm. I know they're handmade, so I know that from what I've seen
Yeah,
of they have a video on TikTok like, showing them actually making the cubes. So I'm curious too if they knew like if it was different, if it looked different, if this like the whole cube looks different, if the product looks different that they're making the cubes. I'm curious if anyone noticed that or if it was just kind of like I'm sure the people at their office in the warehouse that are making these aren't compensated extremely on the high end. So, some people look at it like not my business, not my job. I'm doing my job making the cubes.
Mhm.
So, they're just doing their job. They're not quality control. Let's go ahead and stop this one and see what else. I thought we were talking about something else. Oh, we talked about that. Okay, so let's talk about what's launching tomorrow
Yes.
because it's the second half of the Rain collection. I'm going to show y'all what the Princess collection was, and I want you to know all of the pieces that were uh here we go. Zoom in just a little bit. So here's the list of all the pieces. This is the Princess collection. So Rain was divided into two collections. The first part half of the collection was the Princess collection. Very much pink, dainty designs. And this is so it talks about the diamond that is somewhere. I don't know if I've even seen a diamond from the Rain collection, the
I
Princess collection.
haven't.
I don't so there's a diamond necklace, earring, and ring styles. I'm curious to know, how many of those are in there. All of the diamonds, I believe, are set in sterling silver,
Mhm.
0.925 sterling silver, and the MSRP for the diamond styles is $1,500. The launch, I'll let you talk about what a cap is, Wendy.
Sure. So, when Bomb Party releases a launch, first they do what's called a cap launch. So, what that means is, if you see on the screen necklaces five, that means you can order five necklaces. Earrings, you can only order five earrings. You can only order one sleeve of ring size five.
No,
So,
one ring total.
one
It's
ring
one
total.
one
Oh, yeah,
ring.
I'm sorry, I forgot this is in the sleeve collection, my bad.
You're
Um, so, yeah, the rings themselves are in boxes too, so they're not this is a no fizz collection. Um, so then after people get their caps, then later on they reset and then they reopen and you can buy whatever is left.
Mhm,
So, it's just a way for people to get a little bit of something before everything is sold out.
mhm. And you can see there are not a lot. So size 7 through 9, yeah, there's 4 rings. Those are the most popular sizes. And then so what is that? 5, 10, 15, 22, 29. Is that right? Somebody do the math for me. I just did
Yeah,
quick math in
just
my brain.
roughly about 30
30
pieces.
pieces, correct, and
So
so it's 30 pieces from the collection. We've seen collections drop before, and I continue to talk about this, but we have
mhm,
seen collections loaded in, if it's birthday collections or a special collection, loaded in the back office prior to. So from my understanding, they have to load everything, and then it's like, okay, then they can release it to be ordered by the reps. Well, we saw a month ago, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, where they actually loaded the products in and opened the ordering prior to the actual time that was set. So if the ordering was set at 10 a.m., they launched it at 9:58, and some reps figured it out or knew ahead of time, so they went in the system and ordered prior to the launch, and then things sold out and reps didn't get anything because they believed that the launch was going to happen at 10 a.m., for example, and they were there, but other reps had ordered product and sold it out before reps had the opportunity to order it at the time that BP corporate said it was going to be available. So there's another failure on BP's fault, like BP's part.
and the kicker too is what was Lillian's response in all of this? Instead of saying, "Oh, my bad, guys, we're gonna cancel the orders and redo it," or, "Our bad, next launch, like, this is our game plan." No, she doubled down and was like, "Well, you guys need to get in there early."
Yes.
"What? Miss Ma'am, That is on you to have your website work correctly so that your reps are taken care of. And yet you're here saying you need to wait. You need to come in here 2 minutes early and wait and keep refreshing.
Yes.
No, nobody has time for that. Like, what happened to time freedom, Lillian?
Mhm. And you tell people that in some kind of corporate communication that the rings are gonna be available at 10 a.m. How is somebody supposed to be like, "Oh, well, you said that it was at 10 a.m., but I'm gonna go ahead and log in 2 minutes early because what you say doesn't really matter." It's just like, how is somebody supposed to believe you? Like, how are reps supposed to have trust that you're telling them the truthful information that helps them be successful in their business? Like, by doing that and not having the time set at what you said, you're setting your own reps up for failure.
Exactly.
And Lady Whistledown makes a good point. She says, how can you sustain a viable business with 29 pieces of a collection?"
Oh, because don't worry, Lady Whistle Down. All you have to do is wait another like couple months and then they'll relaunch it from the vault. They're gonna be relaunching the Rain Princess collection soon. Again, reps are talking about that. Reps are talking about being able to order jewel candy again soon. So they're at this point, they're not even special collections.
Mm-mm. And they open the vault when they've screwed up and reps can't order something. So
Hmm.
it's a consolation, or they're trying to offer it as a consolation of, "Oh, well, we didn't allow reps or we didn't have enough available or whatever reason, but we're gonna offer you this old collection that we didn't sell out of before, and we want you to treat that as something special." But we see so many times, time and time again, where reps get these collections and then like these vaulted collections, and then they sell out because it's this, it's like, "Oh, well, it's coming from the vault, so it's magical and special and I need to get it." And it's like the FOMO of that people get, and it's like it's just stuff that didn't sell before. It's the same thing as reps having product that sits behind them that doesn't move. So,
Hmm.
how is it even like
It it also drives me wild when, let's say there is a collection that was sold out, like Jewel Candy was sold out as far as I know,
yeah,
correct?
quick, yeah.
And they're going to relaunch it again. So if I was one of those reps that couldn't get my hands on it when it first launched, and then all of a sudden, oh, now you're gonna open the vault and have more, like you're just gonna, you know, miraculously have this inventory now. How come you didn't have it when the launch happened?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I know that most companies, and Wendy can correct me because she's dealt a lot more with, like, she's dealt with retail-based companies, but, like, I know that companies keep a when it's a product like this, there's always some kind of like a reserve where it's, stuff is held back because if there's issues or whatever, it needs to be replaced, replacements and all that kind of stuff. There's some that's held back just because if it was oversold on the website, there's a lot of different reasons, but a lot of times it's kind of like a buffer of product that allows companies to kind of have a little bit of freedom. Is this a I have questions of, is this a buffer situation where they're getting rid of that buffer, or is this just this collection didn't sell out and we're just gonna bring it back as like a bring back?
So a lot of the time, companies will have like stuff like reserved for those reasons. But at some point, those companies have to say, okay, my space costs money. Anything in that building is going to
True.
cost money, whether it's your time, the product, or even the space on your floor. So if something is collecting dust on your shelf, that is a shelf space that could be taken up by something else.
Mhm,
So at some point, you have to say, okay, we got to let this go.
mhm.
As far as BP goes, I don't see them doing that. we're seeing a lot of collections from 2023, 2022, even 2021.
Mhm.
And it's like, what are we doing here? Now, granted, the products, they don't expire. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like I said, everything costs money. So it makes me wonder, especially with the Rain collection, because it was so hyped up and it was like everywhere. It sold out really quickly, and yet they're going to redo it. I
Mhm.
feel like the cap, the first launch is when they get the money, and then they relaunch it in the vault when they have the money to do it.
Mhm.
Now, that's just me speculating, but it would make a lot of sense because, like I said, they're just relaunching old shit.
Yep.
So they're sitting on old inventory, and then they're getting in collections that sold out. Like, there's just so many red flags here.
Mhm. And people even ask too, like, I've seen people ask about having old collections come back as kind of like a bring back, or like bringing back popular collections. And the thing about that is, they can't go into production, and I don't believe they may be able to have like a different style. They may even be able, I don't know. But I don't think they can go in and have those exact same styles made. We see them bringing out new stuff all the time. People ask in the lives, is this a new? Which means, is this something that's brand new? We see like the RBP numbers, I think, are up in like the 8 or 9,000 right now. And so those are rings and collections that are new pieces. Each piece has an RBP number. So it's a product number that people will use sometimes to like know what they want, or know it's like that's their unicorn and that's the little RBP number. It's a 4-digit number. But
It
people will go ahead.
it's like a batch code. So if you see on like pretty much any product, like you'll see it on lotions, for example, you'll see it on even food. It's a way for the company to keep track of their products. So let's say somebody had an issue with a product, they can say, okay, what's the batch number?
Mhm.
And go in and see, okay, this was the batch that was affected, how many people were affected, things like that. Um, and to Jen's point too, I've also been seeing a lot in the lives of the retros coming back. So
Mhm.
like your 2000 series, I've been seeing a lot of. Um, so those will be like the same setting, but maybe a different stone or maybe a
Yes.
different material, things like that.
And I'm gonna go back to this comment because I just want to talk about it a little bit.
I'm
Cassandra
just gonna
asked,
cut the cam.
yep, is there favoritism going on, especially with the Winnie thing? I don't think that there is necessarily favoritism going on. I believe that there is favoritism throughout, but I don't believe that this is a situation of favoritism right now. I, with the Winnie situation, I'm curious how it's going to play out. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I want to say Jenna did post another video yesterday with the receipts and portions of the video that she had with BP. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. We're not going to play it here today again because, like I said, we've talked a lot about the situation,
Yeah.
and we may do an update next week or as things kind of progress. But um, Tori said, with the bombs themselves, though, wouldn't the stuff that make up those expire after so long? Um, and Kate did provide some extra information regarding that. She said the bombs would need to be stored in a moisture controlled container, the same with the rings. I imagine they can keep or purchase the molds from the manufacturer. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I've seen people who have had, they call it a rainbow pack. So when people join BP, it's a sleeve and it's like a ring that's like one of each size is in this. I think it's a 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yep.
So it's in this box. It's one of each. And I've seen reps opening those that were from years ago. So they still fizzed and they still were good, and they had those retro rings in them from 2, 3, 4 years ago. And because it was vintage BP, people fall over themselves to get it. It's the phenomenon around BP is so interesting to me because, vintage to them is 3 years old, and
Hmm.
it's old styles that people want. And it's like, to me, I go back to my past and I'm like, it gives me Beanie Baby vibes of like, you have
It
to collect
does.
them. And it's like, "Ooh, is this a new piece? Is this a new, or is it a vintage piece?" And some people just want the vintage pieces or old collections that people can't get. And I'm like, "For what purpose? Because it's a vintage piece?" Like,
It's a great, and when I say great, I mean great as in like a villain kind of great sense. But from a business perspective, it makes sense to do that because you're able to get rid of old inventory that normally you wouldn't be able to get rid of. It's kind of like that whole FOMO of, oh, it's going away, it's going away, it's gone. And then like a year later, oh man, you missed it. Well, now's your chance before it's gone again, you know?
mhm.
It's that kind of vibe. Like, it gives me the vibe of the Lucky Last, because if you had a
Yes.
choice between a Lucky Last of just 1 cube or picking out from 5 of them, I'm sorry, most people would normally pick out of the 5
Mhm.
instead of, just picking whatever is left. But since they call it a Lucky Last, oh, well, that might be a diamond in there.
You never know. It's lucky. That okay, Lucky Last and Newbie Juju are
Oh
2
my god, yes.
phenomenas in the BP community. Like, so Lucky Last is where you it's the last cube and some people think it's super lucky. Newbie Juju is where reps believe that the newbies who come in order get the best pieces. And I want to say, like, how is that even logical?
One thing that,
Please hold. I'll be right back. The dog is eating something and I need to see. So I'm going to
oh,
go off
you're
camera
good.
for just a second.
One thing that, Wolfie did on one of his streams, I think like maybe a week ago, he took out a sleeve, right? There's like 5 of them. And one of the things that I've been kind of noticing is the color difference between the cubes sometimes. And the reps are noticing that too. And so any kind of thing that is out of the ordinary, whether it's like a cube that's much lighter, for example, or a Frankie, which is like a cracked cube, which that's a quality control issue. That's not like some special juju, in my opinion, but okay, go off BP. But so he had them laid out and number 1 was super light. And you know how we were talking about number 1 and number 5 too, and color differences. So when he was pointing them out, he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry for
Mhm.
hitting the mic. My bad. So yeah, he was like, go with one without saying it. And if you're into the BP scene, like most people would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna go with one.
Mhm.
But this lady like didn't get the message and she went with 2. But yeah, it was like a double whammy of it being a number 1 and it being like so much lighter.
Mhm. And reps will I know some reps will hold their lighter cubes out, I've heard, allegedly. So their friends and family or people or like best customers can go and get those cubes first, or they hold them until their turn. And then, like Wendy said, it's very much like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And some people flat out will say, you know, this cube is lighter. And
Hmm.
then sometimes it turns into diamonds. I had a conversation with a rep the other day where they knew the cube was lighter, so they already had their popper and ready to go because they just knew based on, the cube was lighter and based on what they had seen, they were ready with the popper because they didn't know for sure, but they really believed with a strong, that it was a diamond.
Hmm.
So, you cannot convince me that the diamonds are not different. It is sometimes it's glaringly different. And
Hmm. Like, you'll have a sleeve of, like, let's say dark pink, and then one will be, like, almost white.
Yes. And someone also told me, and this is interesting, that the diamonds are always on the end of a sleeve. So they'll pack the sleeve and the last cube, they just apparently slide the sleeve out, drop the diamond cube in, slide it back in, and then, but think about that. Is that, and now I need to go and look, is the window of the sleeve, does it show both cubes on the end? Because if it doesn't show both cubes on the end, then that, to me, that's intentional.
Mhm.
That it's like they can hide the diamonds in those, and reps don't see them when they start pulling those sleeves out of their boxes.
Yeah.
Um, Kate said the weight and the end cubes make manufacturing sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Da, 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 da. Pickle Knit said logic. They don't know her. No, they do not. No, they do
No.
not. All right, so let's talk about the villains collection because that's what's launching tomorrow. Let's
Yes. So, we'll probably start seeing reveals as early as Tuesday.
see. I've airdropped so much stuff to myself now that I'm like, where's the picture? Okay, so this is villains. We've shown villains before, and you can go back and watch one of our previous BP News because we actually talked about a whole, like, the villains collection and all of the pieces. I do want to, okay, hold on. Let me come back here because there was a comment that I think Lady Whistledown said that, hold on, let me find it. Let me find it. This,
Mhm.
this. One of the things that BP reps do is when they have a new customer, some reps will say, put cherries in the chat. And they are referring to, and I'm going to say with air quotes, popping cherries as a newbie. And I think that's gross. I think that's gross. Me, I think it's gross. I don't think that you should be talking about, or 53 minutes. I don't think you should be talking about virginity and jewelry in the same sentence and like relating the two together. I just don't like it. It's yucky to me.
Mhm.
And I've seen a lot of people going away from it too, where they do like bees. Somebody said bees, and I was like, "That's cute, new bees." And I was like, I can get on board with that.
Mhm.
Not the Oh, thank you, Nathaniel. He said, "Excited for your weekly BP updates. Enjoyed the DC live with y'all too." Thank you.
Thank you.
Lindsay said,
Lynn,
"Didn't." Go ahead.
I was literally about to read that comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Didn't Wolfie say he missed the window to order villains? He almost did, but he was able to get in. He missed the cap, but he was able to get in to order with the regular. So we'll see that. I was in that live. I was watching. I was like, ooh, drama, but now he was able to order stuff.
Cassandra said, "Don't insert sexual things into non-sexual things. It's simple." Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm gonna be petty for like 2 seconds, but I don't know what it is with Kaylin and some of her expressions lately. Like, what's been driving me nuts more than the cherries, actually, and I don't know why, but it's her when somebody picks out, like, the bottom corner one, she'll be like, "Bottom corner baddie, BCB." I'm just
Yeah,
like,
what is
"What are
that?
you doing?" I hate that so much.
What is that? I don't
That and,
know.
like, just chuck it out the window.
Yes, chuck it out the window. That's what I was gonna say. The charms, chuck the charms out the window.
Once or twice alive, okay, great humor. Every single order, that's just
No.
me being petty, though,
Every
but
time. It's every single time. And if I bought something that I didn't like, why would I chuck it out the window? Like, I bought that. Why am I gonna get
yeah, why would you say check it out the window if you don't like it when it's like, you ordered this piece, you should be, like, hyping it up.
Right, like, you should be encouraged. Like, but the fake, over the top, toxic positivity that everything is beautiful and everything is wonderful and amazing, it's like, there needs to be a balance, there needs to be, like, and that's why it's refreshing to watch reps who say, this is not my thing," or, who are honest about it, and to me, those reps have more credibility. They're MLM reps, but it's like I enjoy watching reps who are a little bit more realistic than the ones who are like, "Everything is beautiful and everything is wonderful and everything is amazing." And even the reps that are like, "Do you like it? Do you love it?" Well, what I if they
What if I
say
hate it?
no. Right. If they say no, then it's like they're gonna get, yes, Sherry,
Yeah,
almost
and
feel
sometimes
guilty.
the comment section, like, will defend the rep too, and it's like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, you know?
Yes.
I can understand, let's say if Jen likes a piece that I don't, or vice versa, you know? Like, I'm not gonna jump down Jen's throat and say, "Oh my god, you're wrong." Like, "How dare you like chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla?"
Exactly.
Man,
Yes,
this is
and
so important to my life.
it's like we don't criticize other people's things that they enjoy. It's, different people like different things, and that's totally okay. And it's okay to not like something, and it's okay to not like something that someone else likes. But this toxic, like everything is beautiful and wonderful. No, it is not. We've seen pieces that have come out that have stones that are missing. That is not beautiful. That is
In
not
their own
quality.
campaign too.
Yeah, yeah, yes. And it's, how is that beautiful and how is that wonderful if you reveal a piece and the stone is missing or it's crooked. We've seen stones that are crooked that are supposed to be straight that are not straight.
I will say I will give Kaylin some credit because one night she had this one necklace that kept popping up. It looked like the Superman logo, like the mini version of it.
Uh-huh.
And in the corner, somebody was like, "Is the stone missing?" And she was like, "No, it's not technically missing, but it's defective. Like it looks like it's missing." So even though the stone wasn't missing, she was like, "I can't send this out." And it happened to her twice with the same necklace. And she's like, "No, I'm going to give you another necklace for
Mhm.
this." So I will give her credit for replacing something that even though the stone wasn't missing, it was still wrong.
And that's, and but then to take that a step further too is by replacing those things, she's out. If she opens a new necklace for a customer,
Mhm.
she's then out that necklace until she gets a replacement from BP. So then reps are left at a disadvantage that even smaller reps that may not have the stock levels that the bigger reps do, then they're out that money and the product until they can get a replacement. And I know that some reps just keep they don't have excess inventory and they're not ordering hundreds and thousands of pieces. They're keeping, some reps just keep what they can sell and then they reorder so they don't have the higher volume. And it puts them at a disadvantage because they're now out a piece that they could have sold to make money. But because BP doesn't have any kind of quality control, in my opinion, or any kind of, quality control, then BP is very hands off, like, "Oh, we'll just send you a replacement," but then the rep is at the disadvantage, and so then they have to, you know, try to figure it out, and what if they don't have a replacement that they can replace for the customer, then the customer has to wait for BP corporate to replace that piece for the customer, and it's like, I feel like people sign up for BP and they're so defensive of BP, but it's like, take off the rose-colored glasses for a minute and look at all the ways that they are not helping you be successful, that they're hurting your business or your business. I say business, it's like you're a 1099 contractor, but still, it's BP is not helping anyone. BP is out for BP's. I mean, we saw that with the whole Jenna situation. BP is and MLM companies as a whole, they are not looking out for their reps. Their reps are bringing them money, but when reps start having issues or being difficult, they're like, "We're done. We're done with you. You're not gonna be a rep anymore." And, like, being at the mercy of someone else is it can be scary. We've seen reps who have been with other companies for years get let go. Tony from Monet, the Dalkeys and Sensi. It's like we can start naming off these people who have been with these companies for way longer than BP has been around, and they just get dropped. There's no loyalty. It's as long as you're making the money and not causing problems, we're good.
Yeah, they want yes men. The more money
Mm.
you're bringing in and the less of a hassle you are, the happier Lillian is.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about Villains because Villains is launching tomorrow. This is the sister collection. Let's see, we're gonna make it just a little bit bigger. We're gonna disappear for a minute. Um, so here's the collection facts. Oh, that's like way big. Oh, nope, don't do that. Let's see. Oh, I am not a professional. Don't ask me to be a professional. Okay, so the collection facts, there's 37 pieces. There we go. Okay, here we go. Here. Okay. Collection facts 37 pieces, 3 diamond styles, 10 necklaces, 11 earrings, and 16 rings. However, there's 37 pieces in the collection, but reps don't have access to they don't get obviously all 37 pieces. The launch details are the same. It's going to be a capped order with you can see the numbers are exactly the same. If you watch BP and you've listened to Lillian and some of the other people talk about this collection, let me add Wendy back in. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, I got
Oh,
my
no,
camera.
no. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I just wanna make sure.
No, you're
You're good. We don't need to see your face if you don't want to. It's okay.
fine, fine.
So they're gonna get the same collection. If you've watched BP for, again, any amount of time and this collection, I have seen, and somebody can definitely call bullshit, but I remember that here we go. Lady Whistledown knows. Sometimes math is hard before noon, so I will help. Princess was 29 pieces in the cap. Villain was postponed to increase production. However, the cap is 27 pieces, so it's
Mhm.
smaller. So
Yeah.
reps don't have access to because Lillian was like, "Oh, we're making so much more and it's going to be available and there's not going to be any problems getting it." Again, this is yet another lie, in my opinion, from Lillian regarding BP and collections. Why why are you going to tell people on a public live that's available for reps and customers? You're going to sit there and you're going to say to people, "Oh, we're going to have way more of this collection. People are going to be able to have access to it. It's amazing, it's wonderful." And then when it comes to figuring like to the details of it, it's less. People are getting reps are getting less pieces in the cap. The cap is lower. So sorry about your bad luck. It's less pieces than I said. Well, admit that. Come out and be like, okay, it's only 27 pieces. But that's not it's deny, and lie about things is, in my opinion, Lillian's MO.
Mhm.
And now I don't know if there's enough capped bundles for all the reps to have access to them.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
gonna
s
be the same thing of, "Oh, we're gonna launch the set. Oh, by the way, a few months later, hey, we're releasing more villain collections again."
right. And in the mental health collection, it was a little bit different, but I think that that's the style that we're going for or the processes that I think they're kind of going to where they release a collection in a smaller amount and then later we're seeing this with princesses. Later they're going to come back with, a lot more pieces so people are going to have access to it. But I feel like at that point you've kind of lost out on the mystique of having, it's like, well, it's already come out and people have already bought it and it's just a second wave of it. So it kind of loses its sparkle and the exclusivity of having it. Do I think that BP jewelry should be exclusive and collectible? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. However, I think that it would have been more successful if you had it the collections been a little bit more accessible to so people could buy it, not a teeny tiny run in the beginning to see if it is gonna be successful and then doing a full production run later. And Lady Whistledown makes a good point. Your business is built on the foundation of surprise and delight.
Mhm.
That's what they
Exactly.
keep saying is surprise and delight. So why not just do another collect, instead of having another production run, do something different and have a different collection. I mean, Princesses is coming out again. We talked Jewel Wendy was talking we were talking earlier about Jewel Candy coming back out, and during the time that it's released, the first part, you have all this frenzy and chaos of people trying to get it. And yes, and Lady
Mhm.
Whistledown said, "Do like the TV shows and do a spinoff." Right. Like, we haven't seen another men's collection come out, and I think that, you're missing a target audience when you don't have rings available for men or even women who like more masculine designs, who don't want princess collections or who don't want things that are more dainty. And I feel like it's a misstep. We're seeing these constant missteps, and it's just becoming more and more obvious. It's like we're seeing the sideline. If you don't know what a sideline is, let me pause for just a second. There's a whole BP subreddit. I know I talk about Reddit all the time, but there's a whole BP subreddit of sidelines. So it's things that are going on that are not that are not BP jewelry related. But anyway, just a little like advertising for my friends who run that subreddit. We do squirrels all the time here, squirrel trails, so there's no apologies needed.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Shelby said, also, your reps are amazing at marketing and selling this, no matter how bad it is. They don't need to do small runs. I, and my personal opinion, this is just me, I think they do small runs because of cost. I think that it's a cost thing that they do these small runs almost as like a like a test to see before they go all out. But it's like, then just do medium size. Like, it doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming thing. OGs are consistent. It's like OGs are always available, but have these collections that are available for people and don't re-release them. Like, I don't like
Yeah,
it.
if you're gonna have a special collection, make it special.
Yes.
Like, it's okay to have a limited launch. It's okay for people to not be able to get it because it's limited,
Uh-huh.
but it's not okay to be like, "Oh, it's a limited launch," and then a few months later release it because now you're like, "Well, I would have bought it if it was not this special."
Yes. Like, I see a lot of the same things with, like, I mean, Stanley for one. I know Stanley does, like, limited they did a Halloween one recently. They did a Halloween launch where
Mhm.
it has, like, it's a black Stanley with, like, a black mat with glossy spider webs on it, and that was a big piece, but they're not coming back out with it. It's like, that's a limited release. There's only so many available, and that was it. Other things they do, other Stanleys that they and I'm not, like, Stanley obsessed, but I do kind of keep up with their marketing and all that stuff, but there are other Stanleys they have made that have it's like once they sell out and they're so popular, then they come back and do a second run of it. And some people love it and they do fine. Stanley and BP aren't exactly the same, but they're both non-consumable products that like you really only need one or two. You don't need a whole bunch.
Sorry, my dog's licking
He's
my face right now.
oh, he's so cute. He's like, "This is my mom."
Mhm. Oh, he just, like, purred. He's like a little cat.
I love him so much. He's so cute. Lady with Song,
He's
yes.
coming with me to Houston.
Is he really?
Mhm.
Oh. Both are Lady with Song said both are non-essential. Correct. Nyando said the new sticky frothy cubes indicate serious cost cutting somewhere. They don't want to pay designers and manufacturers much either. No, they don't. And if you've looked at, I did a video talking about their factories and one of their factories in China. BP also has a video of the factory in China and going to visit. I will say it's to me it's very sad. You see the employees and just look at the expressions on their faces and it's really really sad. Um, I know that in some other countries that the work laws and stuff like that are very different and the working conditions, and it's just sad to see things that, these workers who just like they're making this jewelry and it's just sad. If you want go back and watch the I did a video on it. There's the video on BP's TikTok.
Yep.
I don't have a lot to say other than it's just really sad. It makes me sad to look at the faces of these people who are putting the jewelry together and they don't even look excited. And yeah, okay, they're doing work and I'm not excited every day that I work, but it's beyond just not looking happy. It's just sad. It's
It was haunting to see, um, when they went to visit the factories and to see all the workers, like, outside, like, giving them applause and shit, like, I would
yes.
never give my boss a round of applause just for walking into the damn building. Are you kidding me?
Yes. This is
Mhm,
Nyando said it in a really good way. Chinese manufacturing is just spitting distance from slavery. Yeah. And the people
mhm.
their faces are just so sad and it's like for what? If you saw where your stuff comes from and this is and it's like you see, I know some people don't care, but I have a conscience and it makes me sad to see these people just looking some of them just looked flat out defeated to me. It was like they just it it's yucky in my opinion and I don't like it. Okay, so let's keep talking about villains. The launch details, like Wendy talked about with Princesses, so the ordering is available at 6 p.m. Central. At 7 p.m., BP empties all the carts. So they go in, they clear everybody's carts out, and then an hour later at 8, they do an uncapped release. So whatever is available after the capped release, then people can go in. A lot of times, from what I've seen, these releases sell out quickly and if there is an uncapped release, then rings start selling out in individual sizes because they only get so many on the cap that people go in. Now, do people order excess? Yes. I saw last night with a collection that people had one person got I think like 20 pieces of a collection. It may have been it was November birthday collection and it wasn't a pre-order. They do like 6-month pre-orders, which we'll talk about in just a second. But they had 33 November necklaces and their upline was on the video and they because the upline was sharing their downline for the custom for all of the upline's customers to see. And she said she got 33 necklaces. And her upline was like, how'd you do that? And she didn't say anything. She never answered. But that again goes back to it's really not fair. Some people get 20 ear necklaces and some people get 33. There is no like everybody can get one and we're going to keep it fair. It's dog eat dog and you get what you get. If you get in early and you get more pieces than somebody else, tough
Oh,
shit.
well.
Yep. Yes. Lady
Mhm.
it's a dictatorship. Stand here, wait for the camera. It's also posed. And the video was just I'm gonna keep saying gross. The video was gross to me because they're in this car, video like filming on their phone. They have a driver, and it's like the way that they had it set up was employees on both sides of at least on one side for sure. It may have been on
It
both
was
sides.
both. It was both.
They're both sides. Employees are just standing there on this driveway up to the building, standing there shoulder to shoulder, clapping them and like welcoming them to their building of where they manufacture the rings. Um, Sherry asked, "Does Lillian sell BP on TikTok or she just promotes it? Does she fizz?" She just promotes it. She'll on TikTok, she'll do TikTok lives and give stuff away to people like, like some reps do loveaways or whatever, but she does not fizz. She does
Oh.
not. She used to before it got really big, and that's how BP started was she was fizzing, but she does not fizz anymore.
Mm.
Yes, ew. Ew is the best description of it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It makes me feel a certain way. Okay. Bling it on like a villain. I'll read this little section. At long last, Rain, the villain collection is here. Get ready to unleash your inner baddie and rule the room. With stunning stones in dazzling sizes and moody hues, these pieces are truly fit to reign. The collection drips with seductive villainy, thorns, barbs, thistles, serpents, and naughty twists, all helping you embrace your glamorous darker side. This collection, first stunningly unveiled at Fizztopia 2024, has several additional previously unseen unicorns. If you're going to be a villain, be the best. What twists and turns will you reveal in your story? And I'm going to zoom in because people have talked about this image a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is this?
It looks okay. So I like fooling around with like AI images just for like shits and giggles. Okay. And so I was fooling around with the one on Canva and I was like, make a bomb party, intro for me, things like that. This looks like one of the AI generated images I made.
I That does not what that doesn't surprise me. It's a pile of jewels. That is I wouldn't even call it jewels. It's a pile of I'm gonna stop touching things. Um, it's a pile of something. Like the ah,
There's
is this a
no
ring?
like
Is this a ring? I have questions. Is this big oval thing a ring? Or is it a necklace? Like, what are we looking at here?
it looks like a necklace because you can see kind of a
The
chain.
chain, yes. But like, what is this square looking thing?
Hopefully another necklace.
There was another hold on, I'm gonna find this. Let me find a picture because there was a
Yeah.
picture I need to go back and find on Reddit really fast.
But also like the diamonds are amethyst, so why are we just showcasing this one stone? Like, I feel like the amethyst would have popped better on the green background. Like, I'm not
Uh-huh.
DC by any means, but I feel like this is just muddled together, almost kinda like the way the water looks after a few Rizfings
Yeah. Yeah.
fizzes.
And why, like to your point, why use a green background? If you're gonna do a green stone, do something that makes the stone stand out.
Right.
Okay, let me drop this because I want y'all to see this too. Uh,
Like, this is a personal preference, but, like, hematite plating can go so wrong so quickly. Like, on some of them, it just looks like they're tarnished.
uh-huh. Oh
Not saying
god.
they are, I'm just saying hematite plating can go wrong sometimes.
Lindsay said, "I don't wanna think about what I'm looking at as much as this image makes me think." Ye yes. Or it's like the bags you can get
Yes.
at Value Village or like a thrift store of old costume jewelry. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, let me share this picture because this has been like a what is this? Okay,
Also,
what
I
is
apologize, like, "Oh, yeah, what the fuck is this?"
okay, Why do they have a necklace just like laid across her forehead?
No. Just what?
Jolene says, "Yeah, the
Mhm.
previous that looks like the back corner of a forgotten drawer in my jewelry tower." Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like they just threw it on on the desk and that's what it is. BP is not couture enough for this. No. But like, okay, cool, a marketing image that has, multiple stones on it.
Mhm.
But why is this on her forehead? And what is this? Is this like what is this? What is this? What is this thing on her forehead? I have questions.
It looks like the necklace did a drive-by, like, bird poop.
Yes. 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 And that does
Head
not
candy collection.
you know, y'all know reps are gonna be like recreating this and
Mhm.
it's a whole it's a choices were made. Choices.
Yes.
They already do headbands with the jewel candy. They use the jewel candy necklaces as headbands and put it on so you can
Yeah,
see
because they
that.
have the adjustable, um, thing to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, is that or we're gonna start seeing necklaces and stuff on the big hats. Like, people do the big custom, like, big brim
Yes.
hats. I bet you we're gonna start seeing if they haven't done it, they're gonna start doing it, or we're gonna see it where BP puts stuff on hats. Like BP reps use their jewelry to accessorize things other than their bodies.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, I had to show y'all this image because I'm like, what are we doing?
What is the necklace? Like, not the gaudy one obvious one, but the one she's actually wearing correctly.
There's another style of this. It's like either purple or red or something. And they call this the mullet.
Why would
They c-
choices were made. Choices were made.
and this comes in another it comes in the same setting with other stones. So like I think like I said, I think it's purple, but it's the same setting and it looks like a mohawk or a mullet, a mullet, a mullet. It's the mullet.
Lady whistle down. I just can't, and I know this probably isn't the way you're using the word charm, but anytime I hear the word charm, I just think of, like, Kato Driscoll's, like, charm necklaces and bracelets and shit. She even put charms on her boots, y'all.
Yes, they do that too. They take the necklaces. There was a necklace from I think a Lux Layer collection and they wear that necklace and they take the charms off of the charm bracelets instead of chucking it out the window, like Kaylin says, and they put these charms on necklaces and they wear it. Each charm is from a stack, and those stacks are like, I don't know what, 35 or $40. I can't
Yeah.
remember. So think about each charm, just say $30. $30 per charm, and they've got at least 10, 15. Some may even have 20 charms on a necklace. Do the math.
And then they have multiple necklaces of them. Like,
Yes.
and, "Hey, Savannah, how are you?" Yeah, the ring is not too bad. Like, that's something that, like, I would totally wear. But that necklace, though, oof.
Like, I know the stone isn't those aren't natural stones. Do I like this color? Yes. Do I like it on jewelry? No, I do not. But I think this teal color is pretty, but it's just not it on anything other than BP jewelry, I think it would be okay. But
I feel like it's misplaced. Like, if that color was on, like, an OG, like, I feel like it would be, like, a little bit better. But
mhm.
especially, like, surrounded by the black, it just looks so off. I don't know.
Uh-huh. And it's that dark plating, and I know people are gonna gravitate towards that because it's villain and dark and but I just don't it's a miss for me. And E. Smith said it's such a miss on the fun they could have had with the villain collection. It really is.
Mhm.
And like the chain, like this chain looks cheap to me. And this chain doesn't look very expensive to me, but you know, reps are going to gush about it and be like, look at the chain. The chain is great. Yes.
Jo
Go ahead.
Jolene said pre-tarnished for your convenience.
I
That's
mean,
funny.
yeah, and it won't tarnish as long as your pH and your iron levels are good too. So don't forget that you must have a balance of your pH and your iron levels and it won't tarnish.
The iron levels just pisses me the fuck off. Like, and I'll say this again, I was gifted a mental health collection because I go through mental health stuff and I have a family member who gets roped into MLM. Like, she doesn't sell stuff, but she buys stuff.
Mhm.
And so you mean to tell me that me who is on iron supplements is low in iron and that's why my finger turned green.
Mhm.
What? That thing went right in the trash, by the way. I don't even have them anymore. I'm like,
Nyanda
yeah.
said, "You must be non-anemic to take this ride." Yep.
Mhm.
Shelby said also telling mostly women their pH is off doesn't sit right. No, they're not
No.
they don't know. They're just pulling shit out of their asses and saying, this is why our jewelry tarnishes. This is why our product is defective because it's your fault. Again,
Yep.
the gaslighting that happens within BP is absolutely ridiculous. We have reps gaslighting customers. We have Lillian gaslighting all of us.
Mhm.
Is Lady Whistledon said there's no letters behind their name proving they know anything. Right. Prove to me, show me the facts. If I'm wrong and there is some sort of scholarly medical study that has been proven, cool, show it to me and I'll admit that I was wrong. I'll say I made a mistake. But that doesn't happen in BP because they don't take ownership, in my opinion, for anything that goes wrong. It's just a "you're the problem, not us"
Mhm.
mentality. And Bryce said, "Or you could increase the quality." Exactly.
Imma do a
Joe
quick Google search. Give me 1 second. Continue.
Yes. Eclectic Meemaw said, "Lillian and the BP gaslighting is on a whole new level." Mhm. Lady Whistledown, "I own my ish." Right. And it would go so far if they would just say they made a mistake. Like, I would commend them for admitting they made a mistake. Shelby said from Google, rhodium is considered one of the most inert metals and is not readily attacked by most acids, including strong acids like nitric acid, making it largely pH insensitive in most situations. So it's not us, Lillian. We're not the problem.
Mhm.
And Bryce said, but BP would never spend any more money. They would never do that. Nope.
So, you wanna know what the main reason is?
I do.
So, there's a couple main reasons. Body pH is one of them, but it's so low, and it's because, the skin can become more acidic, okay? But the main reasons, you ready? Number
Mhm.
1, copper. Many metals used in jewelries are alloys that contain copper, including sterling silver, brass, bronze, and pewter. The higher the carat of gold, the less likely it is to turn your skin green because there is less copper in higher carats. The other one is gold-plated jewelry. The gold plating can wear off, exposing the base metal alloy, often copper, to your skin. So get out of here with the low iron bullshit. It's because of your shitty base jewelry
Yeah.
that's
A-
plated.
And we even saw on on one of the shipping when we looked at all the ship like I looked at the shipping stuff that came from the import records And it even says brass
Mhm,
on that. It straight up says brass on it. So we know the bases are of some of them are brass.
mhm.
Like,
Shelby said from Google, rhodium is considered one of the most inert metals and is not readily attacked by most acids, including strong acids like nitric acid, making it largely pH insensitive in most situations. Thank you. But here's the thing too, it's rhodium plated. So that shit's gonna wear off real quick too.
mhm, yep. And I know a lot of times if you have plating, like gold plating or on rings and stuff, you could get them replated. Like I know that's
Yeah.
a thing that but this is BP jewelry isn't even worth it to
No,
get to get it plated. Like it because okay, let's go back. Let's back it up a little bit and talk about the rings. So you're paying for an OG, you're paying 19.95, right? Cool. I need to hold on.
you're good.
I need to make a note so I come back to it.
The
Okay.
rhodium plating, that I'm not sure how thick it is. Um, I don't think it's gonna be very thick, to be honest with
Mm-mm.
you, with the price on them.
Mhm.
Like, the MSRP, we're throwing out the window, like, that's just a made up number,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
it's
but if I'm paying $20 for a ring that's plated, I don't think it's gonna be, like, a professional plating, if
mhm.
that makes sense.
But, so OGs are 19, $20. We're gonna round up to $20, right?
Mhm.
Also take into effect that the number of replacements that BP sends out. Like, I don't think I've ever watched a live where there hasn't been a customer in the comments or somebody in the live chat that talks about or the reps that reveal a ring that needs to be replaced. It's pretty common. It doesn't I mean, it's not 50% of the time, but it does happen quite a bit. And that's all counted into the like what the cost of the real true um what do they call it? Wholesale cost of the ring, not what reps pay. We're talking about what BP pays it, buys those the rings and pays for it at wholesale cost. I people have looked on Temu and found the exact same rings for less than $5, less than $3. We're talking a dollar or $2 per ring. So even if BP is paying, let's just say $2 per ring, that's an $18 profit that is built that's what builds into the MLM structure of paying for uplines worth of people. So if I'm a rep and Wendy's my upline and DC is her upline and Lushy is her upline, so it's Lushy, DC, Wendy, and then me, anytime I buy product to sell, the three of them get paid. It may be a small percentage, less than 10% of the like of what the wholesale like the cost is that reps are spending, but that's all built into the cost. BP is not going to come out of their pocket in any way. It's a business. They're going to make money on whatever they sell. So think about what the true cost and the value of those rings is if they're paying less than $5 a ring. You're not paying in my opinion, you're not paying for the jewelry, you're paying for the experience. And multiple reps have said that. And I'm on board with that kind of train of thought of you're paying for the experience. You're paying yeah, yes, you end up with jewelry and it's like a fun favor, party favor at the end, but but people are paying for that experience. They're paying for the Fizcano. They're paying for the attention. They're paying for the, they get their moment in the to be front and center with somebody. And it's yes, it's entertainment. And people forget that you're paying for the entertainment value. The rings mean absolutely nothing. The MSRPs are made up, like Wendy said. It's not even a real value. They just come up with some number and it's like, this makes sense or this is right. So let's just tack this value on it. You can't sell it. Even the diamonds aren't worth the MSRP. Kate said there has to be a way to do this without the MLM part. Mhm. And I would venture a guess to say that if they remove the MLM part, the rings would be less expensive or the reps could make more commission. If it was an affiliate model, the reps would make a shit ton more money. And I'm not saying it needs to go to an affiliate model, but we've seen a lot of companies go that direction. And if they took away the rep part of the MLM structure and it went to affiliate, it would not be as harmful to people, in my opinion. And commissions could go up, the company would make more money. That's why these companies go to the affiliate model, is because they get rid of that extra payouts on commission and just pay the person who sold it.
Mhm.
They're not paying all these other people for leadership. Like, you can't tell me that 4 lines up, 4 up lines up, knows who some of these smaller reps are that are putting money in their pocket. They don't know. It's like, and that's what's, again, it's yucky that they're paying, people are making money off of them. And I'm gonna say, I was one of those people. I made money on my downlines. I made money on my downlines. It's yucky. It's gross. I I hate that I did that, but I learned a lesson from it now, and that's why I do what I do. So I can tell people, and Wendy and I can talk about it, DC and Lushy, like, we all can talk about how predatory it is, and that reps and people who are these 1099 employees get taken advantage of when people share this opportunity and make it seem like it's this glorious, beautiful thing that you make all this money and you have time freedom and you can travel. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. It's not like that. MLMs cannot win except when they spend MLM. Yes. Yes. MLMs cannot win except when they can spend enough money lobbying to change the laws. Yep.
Mhm.
And most are doomed from day one, correct. And that's, we go back to the 99% of people who are in MLMs don't make any money, or, barely break even, or don't make money at all, because it's not built to succeed. It's not built for reps to succeed. It's built for the companies to make money and the top of the pyramid to make the most money off of their downlines. Plain and simple.
Mhm.
And Lady Whistledown said, and that's where I respect Jenna. I feel like people either have a love it. It's like either they love her or they hate her, and there's really not much in between. And the I think our point with all of the stuff that we've reported and talked about with Jenna is that now we have someone who's bucking the system and being loud about it, and we don't see this very, like, I don't think we've ever seen this. This is one of those situations where I would guess BP would probably wish that it would just be swept under the rug and she would go away. But
Mhm.
she's not going away. She's loud and talking about all of the things that go on, and I don't think it's going to get any better for BP. I think it's going to bring more attention to them, and not in a good way. Lady Whistledown, I've been around the block and I have never heard it this loud before. And it's not just Jenna. There are other reps that are starting to feel more comfortable talking and speaking out loud and sharing their stories. And if you are a rep and you're watching this in the live chat or on the replay and you want to tell your story, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Wendy, you can reach out to DC. We all have Instagram pages, we all have emails. If you want to tell your story and you're afraid to tell it, or you want it to be anonymous, we can do that, and we can tell your story and talk about what's happened, because there is a lot of stuff that goes on, and people are cutthroat when it comes to ranking up and being at the top of the pyramid, and people are going to do whatever they can to get there. And we just see reps who are underneath them in the pyramid that are just getting trampled on. It's that 99% of people who want to make money but just can't because of the way that the machine is set up, in my opinion. And I call MLMs a machine because that's how they operate. They will chew you up and spit you out, and then just continue to perpetuate the cycle. As long as people are recruited and sign up, then they're just going to continue. Lady Whistledown is also available. Lady Whistledown has more experience as a, like, in the rep world. Lady Whistledown is, but we are always available to listen from a perspective of respect and treating people with respect. That's a big thing for me, and I know as well as my friends.
Yes.
Kate said it is a profit producing machine. The product doesn't matter and the people don't matter as long as they aren't rocking the boat. Yep. And because we see all kinds of different MLMs, health and wellness, BP is jewelry, Scentsy and Pink Zebra are home fragrance. There is no industry, like there's no category that is untouched by MLMs. And we're not haters. We're not trolls on the internet. We just want to share what goes on and pull back the curtain so people can see that what people who are trying to recruit you into an MLM, they're trying to recruit you because you put money in their pocket. They may care about you as a person, but in the grand scheme of things, you're a number putting money in their pocket.
Hmm.
Yes. You are always a human first, and there is no judgment cast. I've been in an MLM. I quit my MLM literally the month before I started streaming, and I don't hide that fact. And I've been there. I've been in an MLM watching anti-MLM content, being active and just stepping out of that. It took me time. It takes some people time to kind of disconnect and start the process of deprogramming, as I say, the MLM mindset and kind of getting out of that high control group. And there is no judgment. I don't, I've been there, I've done it, and I'm not perfect and I'm not above telling my story and talking about the manipulation, things that I did to my downline and things that were done to me from my upline. I've made mistakes, but I've also come to terms with those. And you know, I, everybody makes mistakes. I'm not perfect. And if you're looking for perfection, this ain't that, and you're at the wrong place because Lord knows I'm not perfect.
Yeah, and from my perspective, like, I've never been in an MLM, but I find it fascinating to see how people get into them and how it works and the intricacies of it, the nuance to it. Like, a lot of people will have this misconception of like, oh, you got to be stupid to join something like this. And that can't be further from the truth, in my opinion. A lot of these people are super hard workers that are looking to take care of themselves, their families, their lives in general. And so just like Jen said, I love to see behind that curtain of, okay, here's this facade, but what is it really?
Mhm,
And in my opinion, there's no room to have judgment to these people. You know, we should listen to their stories, listen to, even if they're having a good experience, like,
mhm,
okay, cool, but I want to hear, especially from the people who have been affected, who have had their lives turned upside down, because this isn't the thing that you see when you get recruited in the first
mhm,
place. So you should be a well-informed consumer on all regards, not just with MLMs, but you need to have that kind of exposure in order to know what's going on.
mhm. And by having an environment where people can come and even just listen, we're saving space for people where they may not have felt like they had a space before. And it's hard, and MLM is hard. I can tell you, of all the people, since I officially quit, out of all of the people that I knew in Scentsy or had met because of Scentsy, there I can count on one hand the number of people I've talked to. One person is a childhood friend that was my friend before Scentsy, and we're still friends. But you know, I was a number. I was transactional. I was making my upline money and I was still involved in Scentsy. So that's why people would like to me, that's why people were my friends, because we were all involved in it. And it was hard to step outside of that and be like, "You're not even really my friend. Like, this is not like, you're not caring about me as a human." It's like, I'm just another director and we're in a director chat together, or we're both directors and we go to leadership before convention. it's and we see each other and it's like I can remember saying like, "Oh my gosh, I get to see all my friends at convention." And it's like, "Are they really your friends?" Like, would you call those people up? And if I had a problem tomorrow, would I call any of those people up and be like, "Oh, let's hang out?" Or, I do more with I talk to Wendy daily. Like we talk every day. And like I know if I had something going on, I could pick up the phone and be like, "Hey Wendy, blah 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 is happening. Like can you like we could talk through it or we could do whatever." And it has nothing to do with anti-MLM content creating. It's because we're friends. And the friendships that I've made with people, even though we haven't necessarily met in person, I still consider people some of my closest friends who care about me way more than people in an MLM because I'm not making them money. They care about me because of who I am as a person. And you just have to kind of find those places if it's in our live chat or even if it's in like a hobby group or if you make friends. Like you don't have to pay the fees to be in an MLM to be included and have a place that you are valued. So if you are in an MLM, just know you are valuable as a human outside of your role in an MLM. And we welcome you here if you just want to sit and like, watch and not yes, this. You have to find your people and where you're a person and not a number. Yep. Or a dollar sign. Mima said, "I'm thankful that I couldn't afford to keep being a rep for Avon and they let me go." Yep. Sometimes it's the best thing.
Mhm.
But we don't want you to join an MLM if you're not in an MLM. We want you to get out of an MLM if you're in an MLM. And we definitely want to hear your stories because I think that would be I want to do I want to do a live where we read people's stories, like a submission live. So if you want to share your story, feel free. We will keep people anonymous. We don't have to tell. You can change any information you want to like you can change the names, you can change the places, you can change a lot of different things, but we still want to tell your story. So if you have a story for us involves any MLM, it doesn't have to be BP. We would love to hear your story. Send us a message, send me an email, send I know DC has a campsite. You can Wendy has Instagram, I have Instagram. Reach out
I
to
have
us
an
because
email too. It's, listed in my YouTube and I believe on my Instagram too.
so Wendy has an email. Mine is my username, Mrs. Pico Speaks at gmail.com. You can also find that anywhere. But I think it would be really fun to like to do a like story time and tell people stories about MLM and what their experiences have been. So if you have a story, let us know because we'll share it. Um, but I so that's our weekly roundup. We did, like I said, we talked a whole lot Friday about what's going on with Jenna. That's still a kind of ever evolving issue. I know that Reddit has kind of nixed the conversation because now that she's not a BP rep, she's not relevant as BP content. So it's interesting where we're going to go from here because is it gonna be a sideline? I don't know. We'll have to see, but I'm curious to see how the launch is gonna go tomorrow because they're gonna do the launch at 6 Central, and we're gonna see people buying the product. Some reps, you may have seen a lot of reps going live in the past few days because they're trying to build up their wallet so they can purchase villains without coming out of
Yeah.
um, their pocket. Also, friends, Lady Whistledown said there's going to be an edition soon so look for your paper. Those get posted on Reddit if you edition. It's words are hard, and if you're doing voice to talk, it's even harder. But Lady Whistledown is going to be releasing a new edition that is posted on Reddit if you don't know. Wendy, what do you have coming up, my friend?
Not a damn thing. Uh, no, in all seriousness, I've been kinda, like, struggling to get back into, like, recorded videos, so that's gonna be my goal. I'm going on vacation soon, so, that week I'll try to actually do some edited videos and get some more stuff out there, so look for that. I'm gonna do a pop-up stream at some point. I'm gonna try to do that this week, but that'll be talking about my experience shutting down a pyramid scheme when I was 20 years old. So
I can't wait to
Uh,
hear that story.
yeah, I gotta get my ass into gear. I swear, like it's a really good story. But yeah, just kind of taking a little mental health break for myself lately. So
Good for
gonna
you.
get back into stuff soon. How about you?
I don't have anything. We'll be back next weekend at some point. We have to figure out what day, either Saturday or Sunday. Um, I I don't think I have any there's not really any updates on the Jenna situation, but we will come back with updates. If we have an update, it'll be next weekend. B I don't have anything scheduled. I know the Trio of Terror, we've been in conversations about when we're gonna go live and kind of we get back on a schedule. We're going to be scrapping Beat the Gummy for right now, and we'll revisit it at some point, but we wanna bring content that is the most valuable at this point and make an impact. But with that, live live chat, you're amazing. Replay crew, you are just as amazing. We appreciate y'all being here. Ooh, Kristen's going to look at a house today. That's
Ooh,
exciting. I hope that goes
good luck.
well. We appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much. We couldn't do this without y'all. We'll be back next weekend. And yeah, with that, hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day or evening or night, whatever time it is where you are. Don't forget to eat a snack, get, stay hydrated, take your meds, and say something kind about someone this week. Do something nice, be kind, tell somebody you appreciate them or that you love them. And with that, we will see y'all later. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
That's totally